The following presentation was created with intention to satisfy the requirements of the Full Sail University Mastery Program by completing the assignment titled 2.5 Spam in the Digital Marketing and the Law online class on December 8, 2019. Throughout the following presentation, you, as the investor in the digital application startup, Oak Trees and Honeybees, should be prepared to receive an overview of their plan to drive new user application downloads through a spam email marketing strategy. Keep in mind that Oak Trees and Honeybees is a geolocation application and technology that is only functional due to the user's provisions regarding their specific location in relation to their current personalized, desired interest profile that is subject to constant changes. An electronic message that is irrelevant to each individual recipient's personal identity and context due to the equal application. It also applies to all other potential recipients, and an electronic message sent to recipients that have not verifiably granted deliberate, explicit, and still revocable permission for it to be sent to them in the first place. This is what is defined as spam. More generally speaking, a message is only considered spam if and only if it is both unsolicited, where the recipient has not granted verifiable permission for the message to be sent, and it is bulk, where the message is sent as a part of a larger collection of messages, all having substantially identical content. Email marketing is still the most effective marketing channel year to date, where consistently businesses average an ROI of $51 for every $1 they spend. Email marketing strategies have changed over the years. What worked 5 years ago now no longer works, but online marketers still choose email marketing as their go-to marketing channel when surveyed over all others. Why, you ask? Email marketing continues to outperform all online marketing strategies, including SEO, PPC, and content marketing year after year. Last year, the average ROI reported from businesses using email marketing campaigns was $39 per every $1 spent. It's no negotiation that an email marketing strategy is an important part of any marketing strategy, seeing as it is the most cost-effective way to promote your products, communicate with your customers, and reach your business goals. Oak Trees and Honeybees has chosen an email marketing strategy that is a technical consideration of spam. Oak Trees and Honeybees has chosen this route for the obvious projected results for the initial startup new user application download campaign. The following practices will be put in place to ensure that their campaign strategy, although considered to be spam, still remains to be legal, ethical, yet profitable for their brand's future. Marketing Strategy Tactic 1. Following the law. The CAN-SPAM Act, passed through legislation in 2003, has some pretty clear guidelines on what you can do and cannot send in email marketing campaigns. Be honest, take responsibility for your actions, and let people unsubscribe. The CAN-SPAM Act establishes requirements for commercial messages, gives recipients the right to have you stop emailing them, and spells out tough penalties for violations. The CAN-SPAM Act doesn't apply just to bulk email. It covers all commercial messages, with the law defines as any electronic mail message, the primary purpose of which is the commercial advertisement or promotion of a commercial product or service, including email that promotes content on commercial websites. The law makes no exception for business-to-business email. Each individual email found to be in violation of the CAN-SPAM Act is subject to penalties up to $42,530 and/or criminal liability. The law specifically requires the following of spammers. First, don't use false or misleading header information. Second, don't use deceptive subject lines. Third, identify the message as an advertisement. Fourth, tell recipients where you are located. Next, tell recipients how to opt out of receiving future emails from you, and make sure to honor all opt-out requests promptly. And lastly, monitor what others are doing on your behalf. Section 4 of the CAN-SPAM Act of 2003 imposes misdemeanor criminal liability for certain spam-related activities. This section of the Act was intended to address situations where spammers hack their way into an innocent party's email or gain access to an innocent party's email by fraudulent means and use the innocent party's email to send out spam. When you are criminally liable, it means you may be held legally responsible for breaking the law. This can be potential or actual responsibility, meaning that you actually committed the crime or that you are simply suspected of committing it. If the liability is proven in court, you will be held responsible for the crime and sentenced accordingly. In cases of criminal liability, the government believes you may have committed a criminal act, and the government prosecutes the case in court. Striving for ethical expectations in a spam email marketing campaign is important when building a brand's reputation in the marketplace. To do this effectively, content marketing elements should be added to all email marketing campaigns that are sent out. Great content marketing provides extra value to the consumer or potential consumer through channels like blogging, white papers, printables, checklists, webinars, and podcasts. With 96% of B2B buyers requesting content with more input from industry thought leaders, this is a relevant and necessary step in a successful email marketing campaign. Although it's expected to be a bit of a time investment, the content marketing efforts will be diligently tracked by promoting, collecting information, and keeping the sales cycle moving. Providing an ethical first impression on potential users of the Oak Trees and Honeybees application is important to the brand's future success. You want to show the customers and potential users reached that you're not just trying to squeeze money out of them, but you're actually trying to help them improve their lives. 1978 was the earliest documentation of spam, where 1994 was the first commercial spam incident. The origination of spam in email initially became a problem back in the mid-1990s when the internet was first open to the general public. It has increasingly grown through the years and compromises some 80 to 85% or 7 trillion messages of all the email in the world today. Spam has been misbranded over its own creation. When the problem and issues are listed regarding spam emails, legal and illegal practices are mixed together in descriptions. Spam is one thing when practiced using ethical and legal methods, but spam is not anything that defies the regulations put in place for spammers to follow in the CAN-SPAM Act. Once these regulations are ignored by a spammer, they then become a criminal. Here is one consumer's opinion on the negative results of spam emails. With little to not operating costs beyond managing a mailing list, combined with the inability to hold senders accountable, spammers are plentiful and the amount of unwanted emails has become extremely high. Not to mention, there are hundreds of companies willing to sell CDs filled with millions of valid email addresses. Furthermore, having good filters in place doesn't always stop spam. It sometimes still makes its way through, and unfortunately filters every so often filter out the wrong messages, resulting in the deletion of wanted emails. They mention the inability to hold senders accountable, where this would be considered a criminal, not a spammer, along with the act of selling email addresses. They then mention the annoying deletion of wanted emails during filtration processes, which has nothing to do with spammers. Yet, who has the bad rep? Spam is a form of outreach marketing on the public World Wide Web. Before search engines were as sourced as they are today, spam email marketing campaigns were the only realistic method of potentially reaching customers interested in your product. It is those same search engines that host all of the major email platforms. The third strategy for a spam email marketing campaign for Oak Trees and Honeybees application and technology user development and download launch is to ensure the consistency and predictability of content that they choose to represent and send out to all of their potential consumers. With 205 billion emails currently being sent to consumers every day, turning the quest to find and develop their campaign's perfect send time into a science through testing is their first priority. While doing this, they want to also continuously build a relationship with their consumers through a recognizable brand communicated through the look and tone and design elements of the emails they are sending out. 61% of consumers enjoy receiving promotional emails weekly when they know and trust you, that is. Purchasing and selling email lists is illegal under the CAN-SPAM Act. There is a loophole left open here for rented lists. This might not be illegal to the point of holding a person to criminal liability, but is highly not recommended under any circumstances. Reputation of email marketers everywhere is affected by these, where recipients are unaware of their address being used in a rented list. They are elevated to anger and a bad impression of the brands involved quicker. With a little patience and hard work, effective content marketing and networking efforts can strategically be planned and budgeted for, so that better results and a lasting brand reputation is built positively upon for a stronger foundation in the end. The fifth strategy of the Oak Trees and Honeybees email spam marketing campaign launch strategy is to ensure the personalization of the email messages themselves by using customer data. A study by Experian found that personalized emails deliver 6 times higher transaction rates. The most recent research found that email marketing generates 8 cents in revenue per email. In other words, personalization can generate $20 in ROI for every $1 invested into it. Taking these statistics a little further, email subject lines that are personalized with the recipient's first name can increase open rates by 16% higher open rates. You also stand out amongst your competitors, seeing as over 70% of brands do not use personalization within their email marketing strategies. More than the personalized subject line, great personalization starts way before you ever hit the send button. Asking for the information you need versus the information that you want in sign-up forms is crucial to personalized communication efforts. Using a real reply-to email address is imperative to the authenticity of your messaging. By doing this, your brand will appear more personable and credible to the campaign's recipients. Lastly, make sure you use your real email signature with your real contact information. When you give your consumers or potential ones the ability to contact or connect with you online, you are building a trustworthy and authentic relationship with them. This year's marketers ranked segmentation as second on their top initiatives. By using a CRM software to segment your audience and email lists, the Oak Trees and Honeybees email spam marketing campaign launch strategy should expect to see better open rates, revenue, leads, transactions, and more downloads and users. Shockingly, 9 out of 10 email marketers do not segment their database. The top segmentation strategies begin with segmenting by industry, by company size, and by sales cycle. Segmentation realistically reaches the same number of recipients with the same subject line and content messaging, but differs in the types of people from non-segmentation, where segmented lists are filled with your target audience, where a familiar relation exists between the product and the market. Generalized lists are filled with people that would find your brand annoying and useful. It makes sense to take the time to segment. Why pay the same amount of money to reach people who don't care when you can reach people who do? Optimizing and sending mobile-friendly emails that are responsive, where the content is also optimized for mobile device viewing and usage, is imperative when a company is promoting an application that they want the recipient to download onto their mobile devices. 61% of all emails sent are opened on a mobile device. 62% of the general public, when surveyed, said that the first thing that they do when they wake up in the morning, before they even get out of the bed, is check their phone's notifications for new calls, messages, and emails. By optimizing all of the Oak Trees and Honeybees email spam marketing launch campaigns for mobile devices, they should expect to see something similar to an ROI of 40 cents per mobile email, which is 4 times higher than that of an email click on a desktop. Mobile optimization in an email marketing campaign should focus on the implementation of RED, or responsive email design, the condensing of the subject line and pre-header, and the creation of a big and obvious CTA, or call to action, for the recipient to convert. In the case of Oak Trees and Honeybees, they would push the recipient to download the app now. Spam, although highly viewed as an annoyance to most due to the likelihood of their lack of need for the offer or promotion at that particular moment in time, is not considered a crime as long as it follows the regulations put into place by the CAN-SPAM Act of 2003. The First Amendment attorney Kurt Wimmer contends that at least some restrictions on spam raise First Amendment concerns where even unsolicited email messages constitute speech. The definition of the line between what is considered commercial or unethical practices or criminally liable offenses in some legislation raises concerns where flat bans attempted on speech in ethical spamming are genuinely viewed with great suspicion in First Amendment jurisprudence. The last two spam email marketing strategies for the Oaktrees and Honeybees launch campaign would be a similar case in consideration of an ethical strategy with a real attempt to connect with real people that will actually find value in the product or service that the company is trying to communicate. As a newbie in the marketplace, Oaktrees and Honeybees deserves to be protected by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, where they might fall in the path of people on the public web that are not interested in their product. They should not be held liable for utilizing a public resource and popping into the wrong email box where they ensure full transparency and communication preferences in the hands of the inbox owner. No message communicated in a public resource is or should ever be considered to be forced on another due to the recipient's full control and ability to receive and process said content however they wish. Testing all of the elements in your email marketing campaigns by sending them to a certain list of recipients over a period of time is the only way a company is able to understand their brand and audience. The results produced from A/B testing help narrow the overall audience in the end and would actually aid in the decreased amount of criminal spamming on users if ethical practices of spam were first understood, accepted, and tolerated. Testing provides businesses with data to make practical decisions that will only improve their future email marketing performances. Here you can see a graph illustrating the percentage of email campaign elements that are routinely tested. The final proposed spam email marketing launch campaign strategy planned to be implemented by Oaktrees and Honeybees to successfully promote the launch and user download acquisition rate to rise is to automate email campaigns when possible with trigger-based emails. These are emails that are sent out automatically based on user behavior. The data behind trigger emails shows us that trigger emails perform better and generally generate 4 times more revenue and 18 times greater profits in final campaign results. Today, only 25% of marketers currently use triggered emails, and they make up a low percentage of overall email volume at around 2.6%. However, they can be responsible for as much as 20% of your email marketing revenue. Triggered emails tend to perform in what is known as the email marketing sweet spot due to their context. Sounds pricey, but Oaktrees and Honeybees plans to start by using autoresponders in your customer service software to replicate the automation aspect. While the history of spam is not a reputable and sound one, once defined for what it truly is and practiced in an ethical and patient manner, the results and statistics scream and shout the rewards awaiting to be gained in the form of ROI. Clearly defined by the CAN-SPAM Act of 2003, guidelines and regulations are apparent and easily followed when developing an email marketing campaign. The bottom line is obvious. This campaign might begin to some recipients as an apparent act of spam, but once implemented with each strategic method previously listed and discussed, it will end as an expected, trusted, and awaited communication between a reputable brand and their loyal fans and users.